Hi, First Pres. It's your seminary intern, Sarah Millard. As some of you know, I was on the schedule to preach this morning on Isaiah. Unfortunately, life had other plans. So I thought I would just give you a sermon snapshot. That way you still get the word of the Lord, and maybe it'll bring something that you wanted to hear today that you weren't able to earlier, and maybe it'll be something I'd like to hear as well. So let's start with Isaiah 9, 1 through 7. This is the New International Version. Nevertheless, there will be no more gloom for those who were in darkness. In the past, he humbled the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, but in the future he will honor Galilee of the nations by the way of the sea and beyond the Jordan. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. You have enlarged the nation and increased their joy. They rejoice before you as the people rejoice at the harvest, as warriors rejoice at the dividing plunder. For as in the day of Midian's defeat, you have shattered the yoke that burdens them, the bar across their shoulders, the rod of their oppressor, every warrior's boot used in battle, and every garment rolled in blood will be destined for burning, will be fuel for the fire. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. That was Isaiah 9, 1 through 7, NIV. It's a little complicated to read if you don't know the context. So let's talk about the context a little bit. Isaiah was considered a prophet, so he could foretell kind of what was going on. The Lord spoke to him, and he was telling the people around him. But a lot of the time, if you look at it, the people around him didn't really want to hear what he had to say, and a lot of them rebuked what he was saying and would say, "No, that's heresy. You can't say that. You can't say that the Lord spoke to you. What gives you the right to say these things?" A little background about Isaiah is Isaiah was a married man. He had kids. So as you can imagine, I'm sure his family is watching from the sidelines and saying, "Dad, stop, you're embarrassing us," or "Honey, you're going to get us in trouble. Keep it quiet." Now, I know that this seems like, oh, that's Old Testament times, and we wouldn't be so judgmental now, but I want to take it into a more modern context. There was an ophthalmologist of the name Dr. Lee, and maybe you know this man's name, maybe you don't, but I'm going to guarantee that what he foresaw happening, every single one of you has been affected by it in some way or another. This ophthalmologist is the one that discovered SARS-CoV-2. His own government tried to keep him quiet, tried to keep him from spreading mass chaos. Sometimes we don't want to hear the news, whether it's good or bad news, and we try to hush it away and pretend like it's not there. The reason at the time that they didn't want Isaiah's news is they didn't want to spread chaos of hope. You're walking in darkness, and we don't want false hope to come about. However, Isaiah was a man of God, and he told word for word what was going to happen. We find that again when we go into John 8, verse 12 in the NIV. He says, "When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, 'I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have light of life.'" See, Isaiah had this beautiful idea that this world that was so encompassed in darkness would one day be full of light. And there's one light that never burns out, and that's Christ Jesus. While I can't give you a full sermon today, I hope that's a nice little snapshot to remember that while there's darkness, and we all walk through that darkness, I myself am walking through it right now, Jesus is the light that we strive for, and the one that will not burn out in any circumstance. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a wonderful evening.